Welcome back, guys. Welcome back. It's your boy DELRAY, Richardson, platinum artist, platinum songwriter, Straight Game TV. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate your time. Do me a favor. Click on what appears to be the thumbs up button. Subscribe to the channel if you have not already. Like I always say, um, if you want to be one of the first people notified when I drop some of the Straight Game, please do me a favor and click on what appears to be that little bell notification. The little bell notification. Hit like, hit share. Let's get into it. I'm gonna wait for a couple. What up, Rizzy? Risley in the house. We're gonna get into it today. Doug Mack, good morning. Oh man, we got to get into it today. Diddy fires back, man. This is very, very interesting because the interview that I did over on the Art of Dialogue with Chris Todd is intricately interwoven into what Diddy just did. Terrell Robinson, what's happening? Scott Sweeney, what's good? International, yes, sir. We're going to get into it. Wait for a couple of more people to come up in here. And we're going to talk about it, man. P-Funk, what's good? Naptown, yes, sir. Robinwood, Eastport, Bywater, Newtown 20, Naples Garden. Clay and West Washington Street. Andre Falk, what's good? We're going to get into it, a couple more people, and we're going to talk about it, y'all. I want to say, ladies and gentlemen, and when you understand what just happened, right? And the reason why it happened. I'm going to see, it's one thing to talk about something like somebody has some kind of, all of the salaciousness and the tapes and all of these things that people said that existed and that they had and or they knew about or that they saw and all of these things, right? I want to say this first and foremost. When I did the interview with the guy Chris Todd over on the Art of Dialogue, you got to go and check out the interview in regards to this book right here. In regards to this book, because this is part of why Diddy filed the $50 million lawsuit. You got to go check this interview out that I did with Chris Todd, the guy who was claiming, who was the face of the book at that time, right? About this book right here that Amazon eventually took off of the website approximately 2 hours after me and the Art of Dialogue, we did the interview with the guy, Chris Todd, if you will, right? This book right here. This book is part of the lawsuit, and I'm going to tell you why. So now, unbeknownst to the world at that particular time, Kim Porter, may she rest in peace, passed away. That came out a story. It always been speculation, but for the people who really understand and know about the speculation, Queen Keish, what's good? Kimberly Black, Mar Dizzle, Pitbull Pat, what's good? So I'm gonna get into it. So, like I said once again, part of the reason why Diddy filed a $50 million lawsuit is about this book. Check out the interview that I did with the guy Chris Todd over on the Art of Dialogue, and you're gonna see how we basically dismantled the lies and the untruth about what he was talking about. It was kind of pathetic, if you will, to be perfectly honest, and I'm going to tell you why. So the book had came out, and the funny part about it is that when the book came out, we understood that it wanted the author was going under some kind of pseudonym, Jamal T. Millwood, if you will, right? And this is why Diddy filed the $50 million. So Jamal T. Millwood is supposed to be a name that Tupac once went under. Jamal T. Millwood. And when the guy, he gave me this book, he said this was his last copy. You see on the cover, it says not for resale, right? And he gave me the book, and he had scratched out the Jamal T. Millwood, by Jamal T. Millwood for Kimberly Porter, A Journey for Justice from the Other Side, right? First and foremost, he didn't get a license to use this photo of Kim Porter from her estate. That was rule number one. That was red flag number one for me, and I knew that immediately. So when he contacted the Art of Dialogue for the interview, he was trying to promote this book, right? The frenzy was on. Book on Amazon, #1 selling book in the world, and all of this. It ain't about 50 some odd pages. It's not a book. It's actually a pamphlet, if you want to be perfectly honest. So unbeknownst to me, Chris Todd was talking about the person or the people who were behind the book, but he never would mention their name, right? He was out pushing. And so it came out later that Courtney Burgess, the young man who Diddy is suing along with NewsNation and along with Ariel Mitchell, Courtney Burgess' attorney, Diddy is suing them for $50 million. And the reason why Diddy is suing them for $50 million, as Chris Todd had came on the Art of Dialogue when I interviewed him, as Courtney Burgess had went on NewsNation, Courtney Burgess actually went on there and said he was in possession of videos allegedly given to him by someone connected to Kim Porter. Chris Todd said that he was in possession of videos, right? And he had saw videos that if he showed the videos to the world, that the world would stop, the music industry would stop, and it would bring everything to a grinding halt. This is what Chris Todd told me on the Art of Dialogue. You must go check out the interview. These are the things that Courtney Burgess has said on NewsNation, along with his attorney, Ariel Mitchell. The thing that hit me the most was when Courtney Burgess was talking about these things. There was one time that his attorney, Ariel Mitchell, said, I heard about the tapes. I haven't actually seen the tapes, right? It was a red flag to me. And they're going to use that in court. So this is going to be real dicey. But let me tell you something. Check this out. Deshaun Words, what's good? So now, Diddy files a lawsuit yesterday, right? He's accusing the defendants of basically fueling a media frenzy, of fabricating outlandish claims, stirring up baseless speculation about him for months over alleged sex tapes involving the disgraced music mogul and additional celebrities, according to the lawsuit. Remember, in this book right here, they were talking about situation with Will Smith and Jay-Z and all of these other people that were alleged to have they had tapes of them and being involved with this illicit activity and all of this craziness, right? In this book right here, this is part of the reason why Diddy is suing. Check it out now. So Diddy seeking $50 million, the same amount that he was trying to put up to get out of jail, ironically, right? And in the court filing, it says, in this pitiful spectacle, all pretense of objectivity has been abandoned as a global audience feasts at an all-you-can-eat buffet of wild lies and conspiracy theories. I'm going to say that again. The document says, in Diddy's lawsuit, it says, in this pitiful spectacle, all pretense of objectivity has been abandoned as a global audience feasts at an all-you-can-eat buffet of wild lies and conspiracy theories, right? Listen, it's because it's serious, man. This is very serious. And I'm going to tell you why. It says defendants are among the worst perpetrators in this offensive scenario. They eagerly court every opportunity to broadcast blatant falsehoods, pretending they have proof that Mr. Combs engaged in heinous acts, knowing that no such proof exists. I want y'all to really sit back and digest what I just said, because I'm going to read it one more time. I want you to understand. I tried to tell everybody there were no tapes. There were no tapes. And I told you where the freak off thing came from. You know, some people want things to be true because they might dislike somebody or whatever, or may have never done anything in their life to be successful or any of those things. I need you to understand this. Listen, it says, defendants are among the worst perpetrators in this offensive scenario. They eagerly court every opportunity to broadcast blatant falsehoods, pretending they have proof that Mr. Combs engaged in heinous acts, knowing that no such proof exists. So basically, what I've been telling you guys has come to fruition, and I'm going to tell you how it came to fruition. Sean Diddy Combs has taken a stand against the malicious falsehoods that have been fabricated, amplified by individuals seeking to profit at his expense. Diddy's lawyer, Erica Wolf, said in a statement provided to the media, these defendants have willfully fabricated and disseminated outrageous lies with reckless disregard for the truth. Their falsehoods have poisoned the public perception and contaminated the jury pool. This complaint should serve as a warning that such intentional falsehoods which undermine Mr. Combs' right to a fair trial will no longer be tolerated. Diddy's lawyers and Diddy say, you know what? Enough of the foolishness, enough of the shenanigans. Diddy's legal teams allege that Courtney Burgess falsely claimed that he possessed videos of Mr. Combs involved in sexual scenarios of celebrities and minors. Remember, Courtney Burgess went on NewsNation, was talking about, yeah, and some of these people were underage, and Justin Bieber was this, that, and the other, and so on and so forth. And Diddy's legal team, they're saying that Burgess falsely claimed that he possessed videos of Mr. Combs involved in sexual liaisons of celebrities and minors. And I'm telling you, so does this book. Little did I know that Courtney Burgess was behind this book. When I did the interview with the guy, Chris Todd, on the Art of Dialogue, he didn't say who the other people were or other persons were. He was just claiming that, hey, you know, there's some very powerful people and they got the evidence and, you know, these tapes and I've seen them and all of this. And if I show the world gonna stop and the equator gonna cease to exist and all of these other crazy things that he was saying. Check it out. Diddy said in Courtney Burgess, when they went on NewsNation, these are the things that they were doubling down. Basically, they were trying to get this book back up again, right? When Albie Shore had filed a cease and desist, Diddy's kids, Kim Porter's kids, filed a cease and desist. The book was taken down off of Amazon. I told y'all before, once again, there were a few things in the book that I knew not to be true, and I'll get into that in a minute. But let me get on with this. Listen, Diddy's lawyers basically saying they asserted that Burgess, listen, and this is how they know that the tapes didn't exist, because they just got finished with discovery in Diddy's case. Listen, I need you to pay attention real good to this, man. They asserted that Burgess, who was subpoenaed by federal prosecutors to testify in front of a grand jury, repeated this false claim many times to anyone who would listen, including reporters for major news outlets, including NewsNation, which recklessly repeated and amplified his lies as if they were true, according to the lawsuit. Mitchell Burgess, Ariel Mitchell. Ariel Mitchell is Courtney Burgess' lawyer. Mitchell Burgess' lawyer allegedly knew that her client claims were false. So they're saying, Diddy's attorneys are saying that Ariel Mitchell, Courtney Burgess' attorney, knew that her client's claims were false, or at the minimum was utterly reckless in disregards to their falsity, the document stated. Like I said, I watched the interview, and it was one time that Ariel Mitchell said she had claimed not to see the tapes. You know, I haven't seen the tape. So my thing is, and I said this in the prior video, I said, well, if she hadn't seen the tape, right, then why would she be sitting next to this guy on NewsNation and him saying all of these, making all of these crazy allegations? Like I said, you cannot like Diddy. You know, you cannot like whatever, you know, the Cassie tape, which I did not like. But more importantly, what one can't do is one can't come out here and just start defaming people, making up lies, trying to sell a book that's full of lies and things that have not been corroborated. Listen, in this book, Courtney Burgess was according to himself and Chris Todd, they were behind this book, claiming that Will Smith and all of these other things. We just heard Will Smith not too long ago come out and say, yo, I ain't got shit to do with Diddy. Period. Full stop. Right? Jay-Z, all of these things are in this book. Kim Porter claiming that Diddy sent sent Faith Evans at Tupac once he got out of jail to have sex with Tupac, and they're in the room with Kim Porter, and Kim Porter overhears this and asks Diddy, "Oh, you sent Faith at Tupac?" Like, what? And like I told y'all, I was there when Tupac met Faith, and there's no way on God's green earth that happened, because I seen the interaction when they pulled up to the Hollywood Athletic Club. I knew right then and there when I interviewed Chris Todd that the book was full of lies. I knew that story in particular. So that's why I was like, okay, do the interview. You know what I mean? And a lot of people in the comments, I don't know where these comments came from, but they were like, oh, he's doing a bad job. No, I didn't do the job that they wanted to be done in basically accepting these crazy assertions and accusations in regards to the people that were in the book. I just didn't let it slide. I needed to know what kind of proof he had, right? He showed none. As a matter of fact, he got frustrated at the end of the interview and tried to, you know, throw a low blow. But I was like, man, you can't get me with that one. More importantly, like I said, check this out now. See, because no such tapes exist, listen, this is what Diddy's lawyers are saying. Because no such tapes exist, and because Mitchell never saw any video depicting Mr. Combs sexually doing anything to anyone. Did you hear what I just said? Fatima, what's happening? Did you hear what I just said? If you listen and see, like I said, this goes to show you that a lot of people are not listening to certain interviews and things that are being said, if you will, right? If you listen to the interviews and the things that were being said, I want you to understand, listen, she said on NewsNation that she never saw any videos. My question was, when she said that, then why would she sit up there and start talking about something that she never saw? She never saw it. So now, I'm going to start again from that part. Mitchell, Ariel Mitchell, Courtney Burgess lawyers allegedly knew that her client's claims were false and that no tapes existed. His lawyer knew, and she sat next to him, right? Or at a minimum was utterly reckless in disregards to their falsity. The document says, because no such tapes exist. This is Diddy's lawyer saying no touch because no such tapes exist, and that Courtney Burgess lawyer, and because Ariel Mitchell never saw any video depicting Mr. Combs sexually doing anything to anyone, adult or minor. Remember, they were making it salacious, saying it were underage kids and all of the Justin Bieber and Will Smith and Jay-Z and all of these other little Bow Wow, all of these people that they were naming, you know what I mean, and trying to hint, especially in this book, right? Basically, Diddy's lawyers are saying that Ariel Mitchell, Courtney Burgess' lawyer, never saw any video of Diddy doing anything to anyone, adult or minor. Mitchell's, basically they're saying that Ariel Mitchell's many false assertions that Burgess possessed such videos were either knowingly, blatantly falsehoods or recklessly false statements made as a direct result of Mitchell's inexcusable failure to investigate her client's outrageous lies. Amazing. Amazing. You get it? Once again, everybody was talking about these tapes. They don't exist. I told y'all before, the tapes do not exist. There are no tapes. Let me say something. They got these assertions from Cassie. When Cassie filed her lawsuit, she talked about freak offs. She talked about things that they were doing and so on and so forth. Now, when they just got finished doing discovery in Diddy's case, some discovery in Diddy's case, the Diddy's lawyers came out and said, well, they got tapes from Cassie of Diddy and her involved in intimate relations. There was no freak off tapes with any underage minors or other celebrities or none of these things that people were saying. Right? Notice how a lot of people have fallen back now. You know, when it was when it was time to say, and this is that's the sad part. You know, somebody could be guilty of a crime, but you can't sit up there and make up stories and things like that, man, that hold no weight, have no truth, you have no evidence. Now, so Diddy's lawyers filed a $50 million lawsuit basically saying that Courtney Burgess' lawyer knew, Ariel Mitchell knew that no tapes existed. She had not seen the tapes, and she admitted as much on NewsNation. But Diddy's lawyers are saying that NewsNation continued to double and triple down on the falsehoods, if you will, right? Representatives for Burgess did not immediately respond. Basically, Diddy was charged, what we know was conspiracy, sex trafficking by force, fraud, coercion, transportation to engage in prostitution, basically in the federal indictment on September 17th of last year, right? Now, Diddy's charges basically saying he ran a criminal enterprise through his business, including Bad Boy Entertainment, Combs Enterprises, and Combs Global, among others. He used firearms, threats of violence, coercion, and verbal, emotional, physical, and sexual abuse to fulfill his sexual desires, according to an unsealed indictment, basically. So look, I want y'all to understand something. They had discovery. Courtney Burgess went in front of a grand jury and said that he was in possession of tapes. And the reason why they went and talked to him, he had mentioned something on one of these podcasts about having the tapes. Once again, in regards to this book that they put out from that perspective involving Diddy, if you will, right? So they talked about having these tapes and all of this and all of that. And like I said, none of that was true. None of that was true. But they go through discovery in Diddy's case. Now, if the tapes existed, wouldn't the prosecution be in possession of those tapes? No tapes, no such tapes exist, man. Diddy's lawyers came out and said it just a week ago, that no tapes exist. The tapes that, all of these tapes with Will Smith and Jay-Z and all of these other people, there are no tapes. So Courtney Burgess goes in front of a grand jury. repeats it. But where's the tapes? And they know that there are no tapes because, once again, in going in front of the grand jury, the prosecution and the feds would want those tapes because Courtney Burgess admitted that they were alleged minors on those tapes. You see what I'm saying? They would want those tapes because that would be child porn, if you will, from that perspective. You get it? So that's why the feds would want those tapes. The tapes don't exist. He went in front of the grand jury, made accusations, or hinted to, but when it came time to put up, he couldn't do it because they didn't exist. So what was all of the media frenzy about? Like I said, once again, to say somebody did something is one thing, but to be able to prove it is another. P-Funk, exactly. Why wasn't he charged with the guns? You know what I mean? Because they can't say the guns belong to him, right? Yeah, I mean, like I said, once again, you dealing with some powerful lawyers, man. Diddy got money, and it's like they played a game. I don't know. Like I said, the social media kind of got people on this tangent, man. It's crazy, right? It's like they just came out of the woodwork and just started saying anything. We got the freak off tapes and we got the freak off videos. Yeah, once again, it involves celebrities and minors, right? And then not only that, but Courtney Burgess and Ariel Mitchell allegedly repeated the allegations to several news outlets, including NewsNation. Basically, the suit says so that anybody who would listen and who would have them on, they went and they said what they said in regards to these tapes, right? Sean P. Diddy Combs' lawyer basically saying, hey, look, the attorney claimed because the alleged tapes don't exist, they don't exist. And Diddy knew that. Come on. The guy, Chris Todd, when I interviewed him on the Art of Dialogue about this book, go check out that interview on the Art of Dialogue. When I interviewed the dude, Chris Todd, who claimed to be behind this book, right? When he told me that the book with Jamal T. Millwood was a name that Tupac used, and the people who put out this book wanted to get at Diddy and put it out so that he know that Tupac was talking from behind the grave. And I told him, I'm like, Tupac don't have nothing to do with this book, man. Tupac's dead. He's resting in peace, right? Why would you invoke something about Tupac in relation to this book of lies, this pamphlet of lies? This ain't even a book. This is a pamphlet. Look, right? So now, when he said that, I'm like, why would you invoke Tupac? Tupac has nothing to do with this. This is what they were trying to do. And then Courtney Burgess went on the on TV and said that he was doing this in relation to this book for Tupac. What? And the crazy part about that is Tupac already wrote Hit 'Em Up. Tupac didn't need any help with anything in regards to what he needed to say. Tupac spoke his piece while he was here on earth. And so, right? Diddy's lawyers are saying because the alleged tapes don't exist, and Ariel Mitchell and Courtney Burgess statements that they possess footage. Listen, they went on there and saying, Courtney Burgess went on and say he possessed footage were either knowingly, blatantly falsehoods or recklessly false statements. Because guess what? Where the tapes at, y'all? Where the tapes at? It's funny how we entertain bullshit. We entertain bullshit. It's like, dude, people wanted this to be true. We seen the Cassie tape, and once the Cassie tape that came out, then you seen the vultures come out of the woodworks trying to drum up these stories and these accusations and things like that, which simply they didn't exist. They also brung Jay-Z into the mix, and Jay-Z and Diddy allegedly did something to some 13-year-old a young lady. It didn't happen. Now they got other stories where they're trying to, like, they're taking and this is the funny part because it's so predictable and you can see right through it, right? They're taking situations like with Diddy and where the people got trampled and some people died in that party that he held in the early 90s, if you will, right? They're taking, situations like that and trying to put a girl there who said that they were drugged and they were R-worded, right? They're trying to take certain public situations, just like with the Video Music Awards with this young lady with Jay-Z, alleging Jay-Z and P. Diddy, and Jennifer Lopez was there, like, watching. She was Celebrity B. They never really got to, put her in there because Jay-Z put a stop to it with his lawsuit and things like that. And here comes Diddy with his $50 million defamation lawsuit. Why would somebody want to go on national television, on any kind of platform, and tell a lie about something that they possess in freak off tapes and all of these tapes that they know in God's green earth that they don't have, and didn't think that they would be held to show proof? Because I guess they say, well, Diddy locked up, he can't do nothing. No, man, he got long reach, he got long money, he got long tentacles, man. You understand what I'm saying? And for most people that don't understand that, now NewsNation is going to be forced to, because like I said, they went on to keep pushing the story and pushing the story, right? When in fact, guess what? They never saw the tapes. So how is it that a news organization, in being a respectable news organization and worth its credibility in the stories that it produces, is going to come out and let somebody keep getting on their station telling what Diddy's lawyers are claiming to be knowingly false or blatantly falsehoods, right? Without any corroboration of evidence. Just like when I did the interview with Chris Todd, my thing was, well, can we see the videos? You got, oh no, I can't show you. These videos would stop the world. The whole music industry would shut down. It's very powerful people, but we will bring them out. He was like, the feds are in. He even lied and said, listen, Chris Todd, I'm telling you, go watch the interview over on Art of Dialogue, man. He even lied. He was like, yeah, the feds have the videos. No, they don't. Because if the feds had the videos, then they would be using those videos against Diddy in his trial. And from what the Diddy's lawyers came out and said a week ago, that the tapes that they got came from Cassie. And I mean, like I said, and it's one thing to have something, domestic going on between Diddy and Cassie, and I understand that from what that is. But at the end of the day, even Cassie probably has to look at this and say, you know what? This going a little too far. You know what I mean? For all intents and purposes, they had their problems because, once again, if one's being honest, Cassie stayed with Diddy 2 years after that video came out. Let's just be clear. These are the facts. She stayed with him too. I don't know why she stayed. It's none of my business why she stayed. But the fact is, there is documentation, pictures from the Met, from Diddy's documentary release, all of that. She was smiling, and they appeared to be a happy couple prior to us seeing the tape, right? And prior to her filing her lawsuit. And so where all the language came in regards to the freak off tape was from Cassie's civil lawsuit. That's where that came from, right? So that's basically it. But like I said, once again, because Ariel Mitchell and Courtney Burgess went on NewsNation, and from what Diddy's lawyers are saying, basically telling blatant falsehoods and reckless false statements, right? They never produced the tapes. Courtney Burgess went in front of the grand jury. He never produced the tapes. They asked him, "Do you have the tapes?" He was like, "No, they're no longer in my possession." Because it was somebody else that was connected to somebody else that somebody else gave it. You never had the tapes, man. You never had the tapes. Once again, like I said, it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard. And you could see the tainting of the jury. You could see the blatant outright lies. Like I said, somebody got it out for Diddy. And somebody got it out for Diddy. And they ain't no lower level people. There's nothing low on the level about this. Somebody heavy got something out for Diddy, because once again, you just can't get in front of news organizations. They're not having you in. I'm telling you, I've dealt with newspapers, I've dealt with media companies and things like that. When you tell them something, they usually have to verify it before they even print it. Did you hear what I just said? I've dealt with media companies, newspapers, and the like, right? When you go to a newspaper and you tell them, hey, or they want to do a story on you or whatever, and you tell them something, they're going to verify it, not only just with you, but if you're talking about anybody, they're going to verify it with your associates or your sources. You just can't come out and say stuff like that. And that's the reason why Diddy and them filed this lawsuit. Once again, how is it that NewsNation was able to keep repeating what Diddy's attorneys are calling blatant falsehoods and reckless statements, right? How were they able to keep repeating this on these various podcasts and as well as media outlets with no corroboration? You can bring out your cell phone and show somebody. It don't even have to be in a room with a VHS tape or whatever. These hard drives that they said that they had, they don't exist. They don't exist, according to Diddy's lawyers, right? Basically, Courtney Burgess also allegedly, remember, he claimed that Kim Porter, Combs's ex and mother of four of his children who died in 2018, gave him a copy of her memoir. Another lie. Kim Porter ain't give nobody no copy of no memoir. Listen to me, man. and I laugh because it's so laughable. Kim Porter was being taken care of by Diddy. Child support, the house she lived in, all of those things. Do you think that she's going to take and they probably had their problems, I'm sure, as everybody has problem in their relationship, right? Now, you think she going to give her memoir to Courtney Burgess? Courtney Burgess didn't even know Kim Porter. He said he talked to her on the phone. See, one time, he got the memoir from somebody who was closely associated with Kim. Why would they give it to him? Why him? Like, who is he? Like, you know what I mean? In the sphere of being important, or somebody who would have power, you know what I mean? Somebody who would have influence, somebody who could properly position something. And so the memoir, her memoir, this was supposed to be it. Like I said, go check out the interview that I did on the Art of Dialogue, where I talked to the guy Chris Todd, not knowing at the time that Courtney Burgess was behind this fake pamphlet, if you will. I call it a fake pamphlet. You know what I mean? People call it what they want. Once again, Courtney Burgess claims that somebody, or Kim Porter, gave him her memoir, if you will, right? Burgess also allegedly claimed that Kim Porter, Combs's ex and mother of his four children, who died in 2018, gave him a copy of her memoir, as well as videos that shows Combs sexually involved in inebriating celebrities and minors, right? Like, he's drugging them, he's involved with celebrities and minors, he's putting stuff in a drink and all of these other things. Combs' attorney insists that Burgess and Combs have never met. So Courtney Burgess and Sean P. Diddy Combs have never met. And Burgess does not have any association with the Combs family. So they're basically saying, like, no, we've never met. We have no relations, nothing in common, nothing going on, nothing going wrong, or nothing going right. So what is this really, really, truly all about? And how are they able to get on these platforms and make these kind of hella accusations and allegations in regards to Sean P. Diddy Combs, right? Combs' lawyer, Erica Wolf, previously told People magazine that the memoir was fake. That's what I told you. And she's talking about this right here, that this is fake. Erica Wolf, Sean P. Diddy Combs' lawyer, basically said that this is fake. And I told y'all how I knew there was a story in there talking about P. Diddy sent Faith at Tupac when Tupac got out of jail to have sex with Tupac. I knew it was false because I was there when Tupac met Faith Evans. Wasn't no planned meeting. She didn't pop up. It was Tupac jumped out his car. She had pulled up, behind him, and they had met for the first time. I was right there when they greeted each other. So I knew that was a lie. And so with that, and once I asked Chris Todd about that, he was like, well, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know why Kim would write that. She was trying to be like Ramon or Clef and all of these old other crazy ass statements he was saying about something, like as if he did not, if he thought I didn't know what he meant by Ramon or Clef, right? I'm like what? But like I said, when people are coming out trying to carry out a campaign, what I thought was a campaign to assassinate somebody's character by putting out a book, right? I was like, oh, wow. Like I said, if Diddy's did something wrong, evidence will prove that. But like I said, you can't want somebody to have done something wrong that they didn't do. We seen the Cassie tape. That was wrong. Period. Bottom line, the Cassie tape was wrong. No excuse whatsoever. But like I said, Cassie stayed with Diddy 2 years after that. You don't know why, and I don't know why. You know what I mean? And people can say whatever they want. Like I said, oh, it was this and that. Right. She stayed. They seemed like they were happy at the Met Gala. They seemed like they were happy at the all of the other events and red carpets that they had walked after that situation had happened, unbeknownst to us at the time. Right? Remember how the tape popped up on CNN. So somebody gave that tape to CNN to broadcast, and then all hell broke loose. Then you see all of these other lawsuits coming out of the way. So like I said, Erica Wolf, Sean P. Diddy Combs' lawyer, basically said that the memoir is fake, offensive, and a shameless attempt to profit from a tragedy. Right? Combs and Porter's 4 children also shot down the claims of the memoir before it was removed from Amazon. Don't you think that Kim Porter's kids would have known she was working on some kind of memoir or something like that? Simple. Then they made the assertion that Kim Porter was allegedly unalived, if you will, alleged by Diddy or something like that. These are the accusations that people were making. Chris Todd said it on the Art of Dialogue, allegedly, in regards to that. And so, like I said, when we talk about what that means and what that really stands for, is the coroner basically said what Kim Porter had passed away from. And it was some type of pneumonia, if you will. You understand what I'm saying? So when we talk about that, it's like they want to defy facts and logic with lies and allegations and accusations that are not proven to be anything, right? Sean P. Diddy Combs also named Mitchell in the lawsuit. So Courtney Burgess' lawyer is being sued along with him. Amazing. In the lawsuit, noting that the lawyer filed multiple lawsuits against him. Listen. Courtney Burgess' lawyer, Ariel Mitchell, who also mentioned in this $50 million lawsuit, noted that the lawyer filed multiple lawsuits against him, including one on behalf of an adult entertainer who alleged she had been trafficked by Combs. Right? Listen, remember that lawsuit that was filed? Alleging that by an adult entertainer, saying that the person was sex trafficked by Combs, right? To date, listen, till this day, after filing the lawsuit, to date, even though Mitchell has not served either of those lawsuits, so she has not served either of the lawsuits, right? She has spoken about them extensively to the media, the lawsuit claims. So Ariel Mitchell claimed that Diddy, listen, y'all, I'm gonna say it one more time. Y'all got to understand what's really going on. Combs also named Ariel Mitchell in the lawsuit, noting that the lawyer filed multiple lawsuits against Sean P. Diddy Combs. Courtney Burgess lawsuits, Ariel Mitchell filed multiple lawsuits against Sean P. Diddy Combs, including one on behalf of an adult entertainer who alleged she was trafficked by Sean P. Diddy Combs. Now, to date, she filed the lawsuits. Listen, she filed them, but she didn't serve them. Listen, to date, even though Mitchell has not served either of those lawsuits, she has spoken about them extensively to the media, the lawsuit claims. So she filed the lawsuits and did a media campaign, and it was like she was trying to, I guess what they're saying, she was trying to bolster her profile as a lawyer. You know what I mean? A lot of times lawyers do that. They'll go out and like Tony Busby went out and said he had 120 lawsuits, 120 people, and so on and so forth. Grab the media attention, get out there, and hopefully you can gain other clients by doing that, and people contact you, and hopefully you I guess make money or whatever you want to call it. But to date, even though Mitchell has not served either of those lawsuits, she has spoken about the lawsuits extensively to the media, the lawsuit claims. Wow. Amazing. Now we thinking once the lawsuit filed, she's saying, the lawsuit been filed, but it hasn't been served. Why not? Why not, on behalf of your client that you're saying all of these things? This is turning out to be something that's really revealing, that some attorneys do this. Not all lawyers. Like I said, you got good lawyers out here fighting the good fight. I know a few, you know what I mean? And really out here trying to fight on their client's behalf and in the best interest of justice and impartiality, if you will, right? Listen, the court documents reference a NewsNation segment that aired in late September where Ariel Mitchell, allegedly falsely stated that tapes of Combs in compromising positions with other celebrities have been leaked throughout Hollywood. So she claimed that the tapes have been leaked throughout Hollywood, right? Mitchell also alleged that people were unknowingly being recorded in Combs's home. We haven't seen tapes of any of that. Those are just words. Once again, sounds great, but like I said, but there's no evidence to that effect. The NewsNation host allegedly told Mitchell in response, it sounds like there was probably a lot of hidden cameras as well, despite having no evidentiary support of Mitchell's allegations. You see what I'm saying? Once again, you cannot get on television or any kind of news, or whether it's newspaper, magazine, without any corroborating evidence as to what one is saying. And anybody who's taking that and running with it is being irresponsible in their reporting. If you want to be someone who has credibility, or a news organization that has any kind of credibility, you are going to always verify sources, verify information, and make sure that what the person is saying has some semblance of truth. It's just as simple as that. Just like this book, this is the book that they're talking about. I keep saying it. Go over to the Art of Dialogue and look at the interview that I did with Chris Todd in regards to this book and how I dismantled him. I'm telling you, because like I said, once again, it's one thing to have done something wrong. It's another thing for people to make false and defamatory accusations in regards to you, me, or anybody else about something that we allege to have done, but they don't show no proof. The Jay-Z situation is a prime example. You know, having the right to confront one's accuser, you know, in regards to something as serious as somebody saying that somebody did something of a heinous nature, as they allege that Jay-Z, P. Diddy, along with Jennifer Lopez watching. I'm just saying, from what I understand, it's simply not true. Right? Yeah. You know, so when Ariel Mitchell also alleged that people were unknowingly being recorded in Combs's home, right? She made that accusation. And the NewsNation host allegedly told Mitchell in response, it sounds like there was probably a lot of hidden cameras as well, despite having no evidentiary support of Mitchell's allegations. So basically, she was just taking what Ariel Mitchell was saying and just running with it. You know, like, oh, it sounds like that, you know, it's like the sensationalism. Well, it sounds like, you know, there were a lot of cameras as well, huh? Despite having, like, what proof do you have? Right? Listen, NewsNation, upon information and belief, this is what's in the document, man. News information upon information and belief conducted no investigation before broadcasting the false allegations, though it easily could have done so. The lawsuit alleges, adding that the network did not reach out to Combs' representatives for comment before airing the segment. Another thing, Chris Todd told me when I interviewed him, he was like, in regards to the hard drives of sex tapes that he alleged to have, he told me, he said, yeah, you know, I reached out to Diddy, and you know, in an effort to try to sell him the hard drives. I said, you reached out to Diddy? He said, oh no, well, you know, I reached out to his camp. And he basically told me that Diddy's camp told him to kick rocks in reference to this book and the hard drives that Chris Todd alleged that he was in possession of, right? That he wouldn't show me, and saying he saw the tapes, and what I saw, it would stop Hollywood, it would shut the music industry down. He made all of these wild accusations, until this day has not shown anybody anything in regards to any tape or anything else, right? And so basically now here we are, a $50 million lawsuit later. The lawsuit filing also alleges that Burris and Ariel Mitchell made similar statements to reporters on the day Combs appeared before a grand jury in his sex crimes case, where they allegedly continued to repeat false and defamatory claims that Burgess possessed videos depicting Mr. Combs SAing celebrities, including minors. So they keep on, they doubling and tripling down. And I was wondering, I'm like, well, how are they able to keep on making these statements with no proof? And why do they keep airing it to us knowing that they don't have any kind of proof? See, things like that trigger me. You know what I mean? I'm always asking, well, how is this, if you know anything about media, real media, and doing any kind of reporting, how are they able to keep on saying these things, right? With no corroboration of any kind of evidence, right? They saying that Diddy, they got tapes with Diddy, with celebrities, with minors, and all of these things, right? Burgess served as a witness for the grand jury hearing. Now I'm going to repeat that one again. The lawsuit filed by Diddy's attorneys, the filing alleges that Courtney Burgess and Ariel Mitchell, his attorney, made similar statements to reporters on the day Combs appeared before a grand jury in his sex crimes case, where they allegedly continued to repeat false and defamatory claims that Burgess possessed videos depicting Mr. Combs SAing celebrities, including minors. Burgess served as a witness for the grand jury hearing. But they haven't put up no tapes, man. The feds don't have tapes. According to Diddy's lawyers, after they did discovery, the only tapes they got was from Cassie. Mitchell also appeared in Peacock's Diddy, The Making of a Bad Boy. Oh, wow. I haven't seen that documentary yet. I mean, like I said, I thought it flopped personally. I didn't, you know what I mean, didn't really get that much media coverage after the fact, right? So Ariel Mitchell also appeared in Peacock's Diddy, The Making of a Bad Boy, a documentary. Oh, wow. Right? Where she described Combs as a man who has done awful things to hundreds, maybe even thousands of people, according to the court documents. Wow. Man, I don't know what to say about this. Not hundreds or no, I mean, see, like I said, the further you go down the line, the more crazy it gets, right? Ariel Mitchell appeared in the Peacock's Diddy, The Making of a Bad Boy, where she described Combs as a man who has done awful things to hundreds, maybe thousands of people, according to the court documents. Well, I mean, she filed 2 lawsuits, though. Listen, she filed 2 lawsuits and hasn't served Diddy or Diddy's attorneys with the lawsuits yet. So out of the 2 that she filed, of the hundreds of thousands that she claims that he's done awful things to, she hasn't served the 2 lawsuits that she has filed against Diddy, but has went on television talking about those lawsuits. Amazing. Amazing. Wow. Wow. The lawsuit goes on to allege that the defendants have each profited from their public allegations against Combs, with Burgess making money from his fake Kim Porter memoir. This right here. This right here. That's what they alleged. Did he say, yo, they made money from this fake memoir, right? The lawsuit goes on to allege that the defendants have each profited from their public allegations against Combs, with Burgess making money from his fake Kim Porter memoir and Ariel Mitchell promoting herself in the media. Remember, I just said that. Sometimes some lawyers, not all, once again, we want to clear that up. This is not about, lawyer bashing or anything like that. Like I said, once again, you got lawyers out here fighting a good fight. You know what I mean? Unfortunately, allegedly, in this situation, Sean P. Diddy Combs lawyers are claiming that Ariel Mitchell has made money in promoting herself in the media as she makes the allegations against Combs. It alleges that NewsNation's airing of Mitchell's and Burgess allegations has increased the number of viewers for the network. Let's say they do it for the views. They do it for the clout chase. They do it for everything. This is what the allegations are saying. You know what I mean? So they saying, and once again, when I told you about and I'm gonna tell them, for the people that just come in here, go over to the Art of Dialogue and watch the interview that I did with Chris Todd, man, in regards to this book, in regards to this fake memoir, according to P. Diddy's lawyer. The memoir is fake. There were no hard drives given to Courtney Burgess in regards to Kim Porter. They have yet to produce any hard drives or give any hard drives to the federal government in their case. They just did, should I say, the first part of discovery in Sean P. Diddy Combs' case. The only tapes that they said that they have are tapes that were given to the prosecution by Cassie. And those were personal tapes of Sean P. Diddy Combs and Cassie actually engaging in consensual, what appeared to be consensual relations, if you will. So now, once again, I'm going to tell you again, the lawsuit alleges that the defendants, Courtney Burgess and his attorney, Ariel Mitchell, have profited from their public allegations against Combs, with Burgess making money from his fake Kim Porter memoir and Ariel Mitchell promoting herself in the media. Basically, they call that client shopping, if you will. You know what I mean? Like, you know, you go on these channels and other people see you, and somebody might call your office and be like, hey, I got this allegation, like I said. But from what Sean P. Diddy Combs' lawyer is saying, that Ariel Mitchell has filed 2 lawsuits against Sean P. Diddy Combs. She filed the lawsuits. This is what they're saying. She filed the lawsuits, but never served them to Sean P. Diddy Combs, his lawyer, or anything like that. And so in filing a lawsuit, right, and somebody seeing that a lawsuit was filed by this specific attorney, now they can go on to these television shows and things of that nature and start talking as if they have some kind of serious case against Sean Combs, and people seeing them, knowing their name, in needing an attorney, and and that's how she would make money, or could possibly make money from her appearance on these shows. Basically, that's what Sean P. Diddy Combs' lawyers are talking about right now. Oh man, it gets deeper, man. And it goes on to say the defendants made these false and defamatory statements in bad faith as part of a deliberate effort to damage Mr. Combs' reputation, undermine his business, and by painting him as a debauched and a pedophile, to poison the public's perception of him and deprive him of a fair trial. Combs' legal team says, right? Sean P. Diddy Combs is suing for defamation for an amount to be determined at trial, but no less than $50 million, including punitive damages. He is demanding a jury trial. Wow. It goes on to say, this is a pathetic ploy to silence victims. So now, this is Ariel Mitchell, right? Coming back, and she's responding to, I guess, believe what she said. Basically said, this is a pathetic ploy to silence victims and people who stand up for victims. But when now, from if what the Diddy's lawyers are saying is true, why hasn't she served the 2 lawsuits that she's filed? If she's truly interested in representing victims, she would have basically filed those lawsuits. Served those lawsuits, right? According to what Diddy's attorneys are saying, right? And so Ariel Mitchell is coming back to say, this is just a pathetic ploy to silence victims and people who stand up for victims. Diddy has time to sue, but refuses to accept service for the lawsuits already filed against him. So she's basically saying that Diddy, well, that wouldn't be true, because Diddy's in the MDC. He's in the Metropolitan Detention Center, right? He would get served through the course of daily mail, if you will. You know what I mean? Or he could say he don't want any mail. I'm not receiving any mail. From that perspective, that could go on too. But I guess she's saying that, she said this is a pathetic ploy to silence victims and the people who stand up for victims. Diddy has time to sue, but refuses to accept service for the lawsuits already filed against him. Mitchell says, I look forward to countersuing and ensuring the court punishes not only Diddy, but his lawyers who filed this pathetic lawsuit for this frivolous and meritless filing. So Ariel Mitchell basically saying that she's gonna, in turn, countersue Diddy's Diddy, as well as, and try to seek some kind of discipline against Diddy's attorney. Goes on to say, Sean Diddy Combs is taking a stand against this malicious falsehoods that have been fabricated and amplified by individuals seeking to profit at his expense, said Wolf. That's Sean P. Diddy Combs' attorney. Combs' attorney at Sheer Tremonti LLP tells us that of the new lawsuit, these defendants have willfully fabricated and disseminated outrageous lies with reckless regards for the truth. Their falsehoods have poisoned public perception and contaminated the jury pool. This complaint should serve as a warning that such intentional falsehoods which undermine Mr. Combs' right for a fair trial will no longer be tolerated. Wow. It just got serious, y'all. It just got serious. And so once again, after Sean P. Diddy Combs said that Ariel Mitchell filed lawsuits, but didn't serve him. Ariel Mitchell basically coming back and saying that Diddy is refusing service of the service papers in regards to that. Well, my thing is, well, why would Ariel Mitchell get on TV talking about lawsuits she filed but hasn't served? It just doesn't make any kind of sense. But like I said, yeah, Diddy said he's fighting back. Once again, I noticed that that in Ariel Mitchell's statement, and this is her statement. Check it out. I want y'all to pay attention because I always kind of read between, I don't look at what people are saying. I would look at what they're not saying, right? Check it out. So Ariel Mitchell says, this is a pathetic ploy to silence victims and the people who stand up for victims. Diddy has time to sue, but refuses to accept service for the lawsuits already filed against him. That's what Ariel Mitchell said in response to this. What she didn't say was, is Courtney Burgess a victim? Where are the tapes that they claim to have? See, all of this goes away when they come up with them hard drives that they claim to have. I mean, you understand what I'm saying? All of it goes away. And not only does it go away, but in her countersuit, Ariel, if you watch this, in your countersuit, because we're looking for the truth as the public, you know what I mean, that watches these, shows and things like that. And in one hand, it's entertaining, but then on the other hand, it's very serious because people's lives are on the line. And we're talking about people who have allegedly been wronged by someone who has a lot of power. And if one cannot produce the evidence in which they're saying that they possess, and going out and making false or allegedly false and defamatory statements in regard to that person or any person, that's wrong. So now, Ariel Mitchell says she's going to countersue. And along with her countersuit, I hope and pray that she brings forward these alleged hard drives that she said that her client, Mr. Courtney Burgess, has. That would make the whole lawsuit go away. And that would also now get Ariel Mitchell and Courtney Burgess the payday that they've been looking for in their countersuit. Not just because she said basically, I look forward to countersuing and ensuring the court punishes not only Diddy, but also his lawyers who filed this pathetic lawsuit for this frivolous and meritless filing. Listen. It's not frivolous and it's not meritless. Everything that Diddy's lawyers, from what I understand, have just said on here, I watched it on News Network. I watched all of it. So I didn't see nothing that they had said that was false. Once again, if what Ariel Mitchell and Courtney Burgess is saying is not false, they've had one time to go in front of the grand jury to produce the tapes that they were talking about, right? And here comes another time where, upon her saying she's going to countersue, she'll be able to produce these alleged hard drives and tapes that she says that her client was in possession of, allegedly in possession of. She'll be able to produce those tapes and ultimately gain justice for the people that she claims that are victims. Your boy DELRAY. So what we got over here, y'all? So Risley said Ariel Mitchell could be protecting Burgess. Protecting him from what? Protecting him from what? Once again, when somebody comes out and say they has evidence about something, what is she protecting him from? You got to elaborate. Right. KB, you exactly right. But the feds don't have the tapes, KB. The feds don't have the tapes. Because if they did, those tapes would have been mentioned by Diddy's attorneys as they just did discovery sometime, I believe, last week. And they said the only tapes that they were in possession of was the ones given by Cassie. I don't know what kind of shape. I don't know what kind of shape Diddy in. You know what I mean? I know he in the filing a lawsuit shape, a $50 million lawsuit shape. That's what I know from what just happened. Any other kind of shape, I wouldn't be aware of what kind of shape he's in. Yeah, like I said once again, so you got to understand it. Like what they're telling us, what people are trying to convince us to believe, is what they're trying to convince us to believe. In court, a lot of times, if everybody's paying attention, you have great attorneys and all of those things, right? In court, it doesn't work like that. You have to show and prove. You just can't tell somebody something about something that you have and that you've seen, right? But then you cannot produce any kind of corroborating evidence in regards to what you're saying, right? Sean P. Diddy Combs said he never met Courtney Burgess. He don't know him or none of those things, right? Simple. Courtney Burgess said he got the Kim hard drive and she gave him the memoir and didn't mention why she gave it, why they gave it to him. Like, who is he to give Kim was going to give here, give it to Courtney Burgess? Because, come on, man. We talking about Sean P. Diddy Combs. You know what I mean? If he said that, Kim Porter gave it to Suge Knight, I could see, that being something, because she was mad or something like that, this what I got in these tapes and da-da-da. Then yeah, you could get me on that one. But giving it to Courtney Burgess, we never even knew who he was until he came out with Diddy's name in his mouth and Tupac name in his mouth. And in this book right here, listen, y'all got to understand, Courtney Burgess say he put out Kim's memoir, this right here, because of Tupac, for Tupac. And Jamal T. Millwood was a name that Tupac went under. Like, what? What did Tupac have to do with this? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. So a lot of red flags in moving in with this, right? Like I said, if you want to believe that Diddy did all of the things that they told you that he did, then you can believe it. Like I said, I choose not to believe what people telling me unless I've seen it myself. I haven't seen any tapes. I interviewed the guy, Chris Todd, who came on the Art of Dialogue with this very book, and he couldn't show me nothing. As a matter of fact, a lot of the things that I questioned him about, he got frustrated when he even told me, he said when I found out that you knew Tupac, I was like, oh shit. Right. Because he didn't know that. I didn't tell him all of that before we did the interview. I didn't tell him nothing. So we're gonna sit down and do the interview. So we sit down and do the interview. Once we do the interview, then I start asking questions. And you said in this chapter that Diddy and I don't know why Kim would do that. Like, you don't even know if Kim wrote this. As a matter of fact, Kim didn't write it, but I'm saying from the perspective that he was talking from at that particular time, he was speaking as if, I don't know why Kim would do that. Like, you don't know if Kim wrote this book. You here masquerading for somebody else, and which now we know is what is considered to be a fake memoir. It's just as simple as that. It's just as simple as that. He said Wax from the Minister Society has the tape. Absolutely. What's that? Intelligent. Yeah. Like I said, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. So we're gonna see what happens. Like I said, Diddy fires back with the $50 million lawsuit. Diddy said they ain't let me out on my $50 million bail. I'm gonna get y'all for $50 million and see how it goes down. But like I said, once again, I watched everything that they stated in this lawsuit in regards to NewsNation, Courtney Burgess, and Ariel Mitchell. I watched it on NewsNation, and I was perplexed. I was like, how is she, being a respectable attorney, how is she getting on here sitting next to him, and she hasn't seen none of the things that he's talking about? It just didn't make good sense to me. It was as if they were sent by somebody, and like why would NewsNation, a lot of even the Pierce Morgan thing, you know what I mean? Yeah, I really don't know. It was the same thing when Jaguar Wright went on to Piers Morgan, and Jay-Z and them basically sent that letter over there, and she was saying that, yeah, that, and all of this, that, and I'm like, dude, these are just people saying things. That's the time that we're in, you know what I mean? Where people just saying stuff, no relation to what that is or what that was, or knowing, hadn't seen people in years, and 10, 15, 20 years then passed since they seen the person. They don't know where that person is in their life. But once again, I can get on this TV and I can say whatever, and so, and mentioning Beyonce's name, now Jay-Z's tied up in this other little thing where you think like, like what? So like I said, once again, we're gonna see what happens, man. See what happens with this. Like I said, your boy DELRAY, straight gang. Thank y'all for tuning in. Have a blessed day.